Part number 4. So I'm going to draw this one from the right hand edge. So I'm going to sketch. I'm going to put it on the right hand plane, right click, normal 2. And my rectangle tool, start that, pull that up. And on the x-axis, which is going to be this one right here, that dimension is 3. Oops. Okay, well, I'll use the dimension tool. 3. And this height dimension here is going to be 2.5. And green check mark, right click, isometric. I'll get rid of planes that I don't need to see anymore. And I'll do my extrude this guy right here. Just for grins, I'll show you the flip button that makes the extrusion go in the opposite direction. And the distance here is going to be 4.5 inches. And green check mark. Now I'm going to take a look by spinning this around, and I'm going to put a sketch plane on this end right here. I'm going to view normal 2. And the reason I'm putting that sketch plane on the far end is because we're going to draw in this radius right here. So that is going to be our circle tool. I'm going to come up here to this corner and catch that, and I'm going to pull this out. And when you count this out, looking at this, from this corner you go back 1, you go back 2 inches, and there's a line just barely I can see right here that goes up. So this is a radius of 2, which means that we have a diameter of 4. So my dimension tool, I kind of goofed there. So there we go. And green check mark. And then I'm going to right click and just kind of, whoopsie, kind of pull this out so we can see it a little bit more. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to do an extrude, and this is going to be a remove. I'm going to remove that material right there, and you can see it's going backwards in the right direction. And the depth of that is going to be, it goes back 2 inches. So the depth is 2. Green check mark. Now we'll go back to our regular isometric view. I'm going to put a sketch plane right on this top surface here. Oops. Okay, now I can hit sketch plane right on that top surface. Right click and view normal 2. And on the end of this, we have this arc right here. And if I count across 1, 2, 3, 4, that means that that has a diameter of 2 inches. So right from the middle over to the right, it's going to be over 1 inch, 1.5. So I'm going to start my circle command. I'll put it right on here. I'm just going to put it purposely up too far. I'm going to put in my radius of 1, but remember radius and the software does this in diameter, so I'm going to put in my 2. And then I'll use my dimension tool to come from here to the center of that, and that is going to be the 1.5 inches. Green check mark. Isometric. Extrude, remove this. The depth is not going to be used. We're going to use through all. Green check mark. And the last thing is we're going to use our hole tool. And don't forget the first thing when we do our hole, we're doing this hole right here. The first thing whenever we do a hole is we have to start with a sketch plane. I'm going to view that in normal 2. And this is a 1/2 inch diameter hole. So I'm going to put in 0.25 as my diameter. Whoopsie, I goofed. I'll just double click on that and change that to 0.5. That's the diameter. I put the radius in instead. And when I take a look at this, it's down 1 inch and it's in 1 inch from that back line. So here, instead of using the hole tool, I'm going to just use the Extrude Cut. So here we go to that top. That's 0.5. Oops, actually that should be 1. And then from this front edge to here, this should be 1 also. Right? Yep, 1 and 1. Okay. Isometric. Extrude. Remove. Want to remove that material. Through all. Green check mark. That's part number 4.